I am Zane, a relationship consultant and psychologist. In a world that glorifies action, achievement, and constant motion, we often overlook the quiet miracle of simply being present. Emotional presence is not about fixing. It is not about offering solutions or finding the right words. It is about staying, with just being. And in relationships, especially ones touched by past pain or ongoing complexity, this kind of presence can heal more deeply than any advice or grand gesture ever could. It is when you sit beside someone in silence and they feel seen. When your eyes meet theirs and you do not flinch, that is emotional presence. It whispers, "I am with you," without needing to say a word. And in a world where people are increasingly overwhelmed by noise and expectations, that simple act of presence becomes radical, a soft rebellion against the pressure to always do more, say more, fix more. 1. Presence over performance. Most of us are taught to respond to distress by doing. We offer advice. We leap into action, try to fix, solve, rearrange the problem into something manageable. But often what the other person truly needs is not a solution. It is a witness, someone to sit with them in the discomfort and say, "You do not have to go through this alone." Emotional presence makes space for pain without rushing it away. It does not invalidate sadness by trying to cheer it up. It holds, and in that holding, trust begins to form. Because we are not healed by people who always know what to say. We are healed by those who are not afraid to stay when there is nothing left to say. Real presence asks for humility. It tells the other person, "I do not have all the answers, but I am not going anywhere." And that, more than any solution, is what often opens the heart. 2. The strength of staying. Staying sounds passive, but it is anything but. Staying requires courage, humility, and emotional regulation. It is the ability to resist the impulse to flee, fix, or distract. It is the choice to keep your heart open, even when the person next to you is in pain, even when you feel helpless. This kind of presence does not come naturally to everyone, especially not to those who are taught that love is about performance. But presence is not performance. It is attention. It is steadiness. It is saying, "I will not leave you alone with this, even when you do not fully understand what this is." It asks you to sit with your own discomfort as you make room for someone else's. And in doing so, you build a space where real connection, not perfect comfort, can grow. 3. When silence heals, there are wounds words cannot reach. Times when explanations fail and reassurance sounds hollow. In those moments, presence is everything. Steady breath, a warm glance, a hand held without urgency. These become acts of love. They anchor the nervous system. They say, "You are safe here." For someone who has only known conditional love that disappears when emotions get too big, your presence becomes revolutionary. It is not flashy, but it is transformative, because presence is not just what you give. It is who you are when you are not trying to be anything at all. It says, "I see you, I accept you, and I am not afraid of your pain." That kind of love does not just comfort, it begins to rewire old beliefs about what love means. 4. Practicing everyday presence. You can start today. With the people you love and with yourself. Try not filling the silence. Try sitting with discomfort without fixing it. Notice your breath, your posture, your impulse to speak. Just pause. Being present is a practice. It asks for slowness in a fast world, for softness in a culture obsessed with strength. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, your presence becomes your power. A steady, quiet force that tells those around you they are not alone. With time, you begin to see that being is not about doing less. It is about offering more of your inner steadiness, more of your grounded self. That is what people remember. Not the perfect words, but how safe they felt beside you. 5. Your presence can be a gift. Have you ever felt someone truly be there for you? No agenda, just presence. Or have you been that steady presence for someone else? Share your story in the comments. Your stillness might be the strength someone else needs to remember. In a culture that tells us we must always earn our value, presence becomes an act of generosity. It does not need applause. It does not need recognition. It needs heart. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can offer is your quiet. Undivided presence, the kind that asks for nothing and gives everything. In our next episode, we will explore the hidden grief of one-sided relationships and why letting go hurts even when it is right. This is Zane, a relationship consultant and psychologist. Subscribe to STR TV if you want to keep exploring the emotional layers that shape how we love. Remember, sometimes your stillness says more than your words ever could.